Hello and welcome to Seek A2W, which is Architect to Win. It's a refreshing endeavor to beef up knowledge and application skills collaboratively with budding solution architects. A2W's purpose is to foster solution thinking by leveraging the tenets of community learning to collaboratively muse over disparate business contexts and requirements, problems, or pain points with an aim to build architectural capabilities in applying Salesforce and related technologies to adeptly address business challenges. So we'll have multiple building blocks. I plan to have around 20 plus, and this helps to you know gather knowledge on various critical aspects. So those 20 plus contexts or scenarios, business contexts or scenarios, will be simple to intermediate level. And once we complete 20 odd business context situation scenarios, then we will muse over a very comprehensive case study. It is similar. It would The exercise would be similar to how solutions architects work on a medium size solution, or they muse over an RFP. And in order to effectively complete that, we need to have a sound knowledge and a solid understanding of various critical key aspects of Salesforce, which would be presented to you in form of building blocks. Okay, so this is the first building block, and this helps you to muse over the situations, contexts, warranting junction objects. So what are they, and how they are useful? And in addition to this, you are expected to comment on the below aspects of junction objects. Let's run through them. So how OWD profiles and visibility govern the behavior of junction object records. Consider users with read access to either of the parent records. How the visibility on the junction object records is driven. When one of the parent records is deleted, what happens to the junction object records? What is the significance of primary and secondary relationships? What happens to the standard report types? This is some of the key aspects that a solution architect would have to brood over, think deeply before advocating a solution warranting junction objects. And I've used Quip to jot down my understanding, observations based on the research that I made, and from various resources. And I've also created an infographic which succinctly offers an insight into the nitty-gritties of junction objects. So let's run through them real quick. So as all of you know that junction object is used to construct a many-to-many relationship, where a record of one object can be related to multiple records of another object and vice versa. So this is, everyone knows that. And there are other situations where a junction object comes into play. So one is to, for tracking purposes, to filter or group um, you know data based on specific criteria, to track data or activity, to represent a custom data model. So I've explained it very briefly. You can read through it. And when you look at the junction object, I've used the objects here as an example. Just hold on. Yes, I've used. Yeah, so these are the three objects that I've used. One is project, which happens to be the primary master, and employee, the secondary master. So the primary master, or you can say the primary relationship, is the master detail relationship that you create first, right? So this is the junction object. So typically, junction object acts as an intermediary where you create two master detail relationships. You could see this project employee, and employee is a master detail relationship field which points to the project. Sorry, the project is a master detail relationship which points to the project object, and employee another master detail relationship which points to the employee object. So this is created first, and this means that a project is your primary master, and employee becomes your secondary master. So there is some significance when it comes to primary master versus the secondary master. Let's run through that as well. So the look and feel. So the look and feel of your detail pages, the edit pages of your junction object, it inherits the associated color and icon from your primary master. Okay, and next is the record ownership. So typically the detail object records, they don't have an ownership field exposed, and it is driven by the ownership of the primary object record. Similarly, the junction object records inherit the value of the owner field from their associated primary master record. So this is where the primary master record comes into play. But essentially, this comes into the play when you delete both of your when you delete both master detail relationships on your junction object. So when the both master detail relationships are gone, the junction object records would inherit the ownership from the primary master record. That's the significance of the primary master. Then when you look at the profile, right? So this is, you tend to have, you should have a minimum read permission on both the, you know masters. So your primary and your secondary master, you need to have the permission, at least the read permission, so that you can manipulate the permissions on your junction object. So it is easy to look at the profiles. So I've chosen custom sales profile for my experiments, and I was a little surprised to see, it auto checks when you. I'm just navigating to the custom object section, and here we go. So I remove all the permissions. So the objects in question are projects and employees, projects, the primary master object, and employees the secondary master object, and projects employees the junction object. So in case if I have to have any sort of access, let's say the basic read access on the project's employees, right? I should also have a minimum of read access on both the projects and employees. That you will see it here. You could see it auto selects the read options on both the masters. That's what is explained as part of this infographics. And delete feature. So you delete junction object records are deleted when either associated master record is deleted and placed in the recycle bin. So you delete either of the master object records. So either the primary master object record or the secondary object primary the secondary master object record, your junction object record gets deleted. And obviously if proper settings and permissions are offered as part of the profile. Okay, and then the other considerations, you have an option to create apex triggers on both master object records and on both master objects and junction object. And a junction object can't be on the master side of another master detailed relationship. And once you come to the standard report types, surprisingly, there's no standard report type created for your junction object. Okay, so when I did my experiment, I found the the report types, standard report types being created for four different standard report types created. One, two for the master objects. So, like say, project is the master, one of the master object, and employees is another master object. So, a standard report type is created for projects, employees, and projects with projects, employees, and employees with projects, employees, and projects. So this is the four different standard report types are created. So the last one is the employees. See this employees. Okay. Okay. And and this is a scenario. So the experiments I've jotted down what I experimented here. And the last one is the sharing access to the junction object records. I did a quick experiment on the same. So it is dependent on two things. One is the sharing setting on the relationship field. So you navigate your object manager and locate the project employee, which is a junction object, and these two are your master detail relationships. You could see, let's say, if I am editing this relationship, you could see a property sharing setting. Okay, so this is one aspect which determines the level of access you get on the junction object records. The other one is the your typical sharing settings. What sort of OWD, right? So you have on either of this. So project and the employee. Okay, so that's what I have explained here. And I experimented with different combinations of OWD, just the OWD. For instance, the project, I set it to public read write, and for employee, it's public read only. And the impact on the project employee, which is a junction object record, um, it stays read only. And similarly, if I swap the permissions on the project and the employee, the result is same. So project employee, you could say the project is public read only, and employee is public read write, and the access for the user on project employee, which is junction object, the records are read only. And the third one is the project is set to public read write, which is the primary master, and the employee is set to private. And what is the impact? The project employee, which is the junction object, records are not visible. So the conclusion is the most restrictive permission will win. Okay, so these are some of my observations, and I've also jotted down all of the research, elaborated everything in this quib document, and I will be sharing this link. It's public, it's made public, and you can sift through this and add your comments. You have an option to comment, add your comments. You can click here and add your comments. You can also amend this document, etc. And let's make sure that you add additional content and help each other in the community, and let us join hands to amplify our learning. And that's it for this edition. And I will catch up with you with yet another building block later this week. Thank you, folks. Take care. Bye bye.